Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to learn about Swadeshi Movement. Swadeshi Movement was the first Indian nationalism movement. It was a very vast movement. It was the product of partition of Bengal by the Viceroy Curzon in 1905. Bengal was the first largest province of British India, both geographically and also economically. Seeking administrative convenience by Viceroy Curzon decided to partition the province, and the manner in which the partition was proposed made it clear that it was an expression of divide and rule policy based on religion to weaken the emerging Indian nationalism. Once the partition proposals were announced, the Bengalis announced anti-partition movement on 7th August 1905. But Curzon went ahead with the partition and Bengal was partitioned on 16th October 1905. An anti-partition movement got transformed into Swadeshi and boycott movement under the extremist leadership. Nature of Swadeshi movement. It was a mass struggle. It had a partition of the middle and lower class of urban areas. It was an extra constitutional direct struggle. It was based on demand for Swaraj. It was based on new ideologies. It had political, that is Swadeshi and boycott movement. It had partition of diverse sections of the society, especially women and students. Significance of Swadeshi movement. This gave a specific orientation of national movement with the masses. They presented a broad goal called Swaraj. New methods of political works in this movement was there. Contribution of women and students in the national struggle was very much. It widened the social base of Indian nationalism. Through constructive movement, they contributed to the Swadeshi enterprise, national education, and indigenous tradition in art and culture. Decline of Swadeshi movement. It had a sudden decline in the beginning of 1908, and it was due to the following reasons. Surat split of Congress in 1907, which weakened the movement and contributed to its decline. Lack of organizational structure, supremacy by the government, basic psychology of mass struggle, subscription to Hindu symbols by external served as a tool for the decline of Swadeshi movement. Now let's learn what is Surat split. It was the first split of Indian National Congress, and the extremists and moderates partnered their way. This split had too many consequences. Factors leading to the Surat split. First one, ideological conflict between extremists and moderates. Next, it was because of the differences over Swadeshi and boycott movement. Moderates wanted to confine the movements only to Bengal and to limit the scope of boycott only to English goods. Extremists wanted to extend the movement all over India and to extend the scope of boycott to all aspects of British rule. The Congress adopted for resolution as its goal. That is Swaraj, Swadeshi boycott and national education to accommodate extremist demand. Next, it was because of the role of British faith. The British played a role in widening the gap between both the factory Congress. Treated with the rise of extremists, the British government tried to appease the moderates with the fake promises of reforms and completely neglected the extremists. Surat section in 1907 was an open conflict leading to the split. Extremists were thrown out of the organization. Consequences of Surat split. It weakened the nationalistic unity, put an end to extremist politics. It contributed to the decline of Swadeshi and boycott movement. It weakened nationalistic pressure over the British government. This was evident from dissatisfying Indian Council Act 1909, which introduced separate electorates for Muslims, which played a role in the rise of Muslim separatism. It also contributed to the rise of revolutionary movement in India from 1906 to 1915. Political inactivity in India almost a decade. It contributed to the rise of divisive forces like Muslim League and Hindu Mahasabha. It also contributed to the rise of revolutionary movement in India. From 1906 to 1915. In 1911, capital of India was shifted from Calcutta to Delhi. The same year, partition of Bengal was cancelled and both provinces were brought together. Bihar and Odisha got separated from Bengal. It was to deal with revolutionaries. This is the end of Swadeshi and Surat split. Thank you.